Well, typical weather in New York. Yesterday it was almost 70 degrees and today it's 32. We're expecting a mixture of snow, sleet, and rain tonight. But the dogs are going to help me, I hope. Come on, let's go, Apple. Apple's here. And there's her mother, Bootsy. Tag is here too. And we thought today we would do something a little bit different. We'd go out to the very back of our property and show you our pet cemetery. We like to memorialize our pets. And I'm going to start at the beginning here. The first one that we have, our very first Cavalier, was not a registered dog. His name was Winston. He was a rescue. And we don't even know exactly how old he was. But Winston was the best companion you could ever ask for. The next dog we had was Churchill. She was a registered Cavalier. Her registered name was Chadwick Little Firecracker at Blackfire. And she was a wonderful pet. She wasn't a breeding dog, but she was a wonderful pet. Then we got Phantom, Chadwick Phantom of the Opera at Blackfire. And Phantom was a very cute little tricolor. Again, a pet. But then, after we got Phantom and we were kind of hooked on Cavaliers, we decided that we would like to try breeding them. By the way, it's really kind of ugly around here because it's wintertime. But if you look closely, you'll see crocuses coming up out of the ground. And on a sunny day, they bloom. They were blooming yesterday. Anyway, we got Widget, who was a black and tan girl. And she was the first of our whole color Cavaliers that we used for breeding and foundation for a lot of very nice dogs that we had. Mopsy's kind of stuck in here. You'll see the silhouette on this one is different. And Mopsy was a Shih Tzu, and she belonged to my mother-in-law. And when my mother-in-law passed away, we took over ownership of Mopsy, and she was a very good companion, a cute little dog. This is Penny, and she was a very special Cavalier. She was one of the puppies that we produced who had several issues at birth, and she was a cleft palate puppy, and the cleft palate meant that she had to be specially trained for eating and drinking so that she wouldn't have aspiration pneumonia. And she did learn that, but unfortunately she had a heart abnormality that took her life before she was even a year old. So we decided to memorialize her here. Now here, you'll see a difference in the type of headstone we have now. This is a picture headstone, and it has a nice little description of the dog with the name and the dates and so on. This was Bexley. Bexley was probably the best show dog we ever had. She was a black and tan. She was beautiful. And when she was 13 years old, she took a best in show, which is really remarkable. She lived to 15 and a half, and her son, Murphy, lived to 16 and a half. Murphy was not really a show dog. He was a Ruby. He was pretty good in dog shows when he was a puppy, but he didn't really develop as well as we hoped he would. He did sire 2 puppies who made wonderful pets. And that's Murphy. Next in line here we have Snaggle. Snaggle is Boo and Tag's brother. He unfortunately had a very unusual condition. He had a aortic tear, which took him from us when he was only 8 years old. And that was really a very unusual thing. But he was a great show dog. He was a grand champion in the AKC and really did us proud. We have a special headstone here for a Ruby boy named Bracer. Bracer was a dog that we bred and we placed with some friends who liked to show him. They got a little older and they weren't able to show him for his entire life. And unfortunately they passed away, both owners. And one thing you should know about breeders is that Anybody who is a good, responsible breeder is going to take a lifetime responsibility for their dogs. So we took Bracer in, and he lived with us for about a year and 2 months before he finally passed away. He was already over 14. But he was a really good boy, and he was born here and he died here. Now I have to go over to the annex. We were running out of room, so we put some over here. This is Derby. Derby was probably the best producing dog that we had as a mother. Her registered name was Blackfire Trifecta. She was an AKC champion. She was Boo and Tag and Snaggle's mother. Produced lots of really, really nice puppies. Here we have Bramble, who was a black and tan. Now if you notice, she was Blackfire Dark Thicket and some letters after her name. She was an agility dog, and those letters indicate the agility titles that she earned. And she was really wonderful. Unfortunately, she only lived to 9. And finally, over here in a place of honor, we have Samantha, Sammy as we called her. She was the foundation dog for our party color line. That would be the Blenheims and Tricolors. If you know our current puppies, which would include Jamba and Apple and Bella, this would be their great-great-great-grandmother. And if you look at Tag, take a look at that face. It's very similar to Tag. There's an awful lot of similarities between her and Tag. I think Tag is a throwback to her great-great-grandmother. So there you have our pet cemetery. Have a couple more to add in there. We've gotten their ashes back, and I'll be ordering some more headstones. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them. I'm kind of at the end over here. I'll probably have to extend the annex a little bit. Tag, thank you for being out here and helping us. Pretty spry for a 9-year-old, huh? Good girl. Apple. Apple was just eating a piece of bark. Thank you very much. Good girl. So thanks to the dogs for their help, and we'll be in touch with everybody soon.